Cindy has got a gun. Will you believe it? Are we allowed to say that in the first 30 seconds? Who knows? But yeah, Cindy has got a gun, and if you don't know, this is Walford on Tap, where we run through today's episode. Today being the 17th of the 2nd, 2025. And can you believe it? Something significant happens this week. Well, it's the reason why we have a channel. EastEnders turns 40. And obviously this is being live streamed on YouTube, so there's some comments here. And if you want to be a part of this live edition of Walford on Tap, just join the live stream while we around 8 p.m. and you just leave a comment and I'll read it on stream. Unless the comment's like you're fat, then I won't. So because I've said
that's from me.
Yeah, that's his alter count, big ass 70, 75. But yeah, preference. EastEnders turns 40. This is part of the live week. This is a one-off week where we are doing Walford on Tap. Walford on Tap only happens at significant moments of the year. So without further ado, let's run through the episode. Now, where do we start? Phil, we start today's episode off actually with just a look around the square. We see everyone's like happy. We just see generally I can't really remember some of this stuff because it's just silent.
Just go through it. It's just fine. It's just fine. We'll feel our way through it.
Yeah. I just because the life
like going through a maze in the dark. We'll feel our way through it.
Like a blind man in an orgy. We'll just feel our way through it. But yeah. We see the squares getting ready to celebrate Billy and Honey's wedding. Everyone's there. Honey's there. Billy's there. Grant's there. Sharon's there. Everyone's there. And Sharon talks to Honey. They go into the Queen Vic. Honey is happy with Sharon and Linda because Linda set up everything, and she's pretty happy with it. Sharon also reads a letter from Angie that Angie wrote to Sharon about being when she gets married, I believe. When she gets old. And yeah, so we cut between all the major families, so the Beals, not the Knights, the Beals, the Fowlers and the Slaters, and we just see them all happy going through it because the world event's about to change. Ian picks up a picture from just sees a picture of him with Cindy and then puts it in a cupboard and then tells Priya to meet him at the cafe.
The one thing that is funny is it's not because it's the 40th week, but suddenly everybody's bringing out the old family photos in this episode. It's like, oh, Sharon's got a picture of Angie Watts. Yeah, look, guys, you know Angie Watts, right? Yes, we all love Angie. It's like, oh, Martin. To be fair, Martin didn't bring it out. But, Ian, here's a picture of... Peter brings out pictures of Lucy. Dot pulls out a picture of Dot. Sonia pulls out a picture of Dot. We also see pictures of Ethel. It's a nice little touch, but it is very on the nose.
I'd agree. It's very on the nose. But yeah, like we also see that Sonia talks to Bianca and says, "Come to the wedding." Bianca goes, "No," and then Sonia does what like a Christian would do to me to like get me motivated. But if you don't go, I'll read Bible verses to you. Oh no, I'm going. I'd rather be waterboarded, please. No. So yeah, Bianca goes. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, Ian wants to meet up with Priya at the cafe, and Cindy sees Priya and like sits down on a Jacqueline. Priya's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, Priya? You read a funny comment or something?" Just seeing you giggle.
It's just the whole thing where Priya's obviously sat there. They're looking to fleece Ian, they're there to continue fleecing Ian, and then Cindy's just like a horny boyfriend. Obviously not in the same way, but it's it's all right. That close, Jesus. She wasn't even wearing a booby outfit.
Yeah, true. I wasn't looking, to be fair.
I see everything.
Well, you're Superman. Like, just X-ray vision. But yeah, as I was saying, so Ian comes in and goes, "Whatever she's paying you, double it. I'll double it, and don't you worry." And then we see Phil. Grant is with Phil. And then Grant's like, "You alright, Phil?" "Yeah, I'm grand." See, Nigel, there's nothing wrong with him.
It's so ridiculous. It's so look, obviously the Mitchell men never learn how to talk about their feelings, of course. But it's the most as it's supposed to be. It's the most like 40-year-old men talking about their feelings. Phil. We mean to have a serious talk. When you're not feeling too good, is that now? And Phil goes, no, it's not. I'm all right. Yeah, you see, he's all right. He's doing all right. Yeah, and what about the football scores? It's like, and obviously, we as an audience know that Phil's really struggling and made an attempt on his life, but Grant's like, yeah, he's all right. He is. It's like, Grant, but he smack you, Grant. Pay attention to your brother.
I didn't know you were from the 1940s winding up a punch. I'll show you. I ought to show you, woman. Anyways, continuing on. Grant goes ironing his shirt, and yeah, that's pretty much it. He just goes up
no, what else is it? It's not his pants.
He just goes. It's just a weird scene because it's just like, you're right, Phil. Yeah, and then he's just like, see, Nigel, I'm great with an iron. I'm like, yeah, cool. What do you want me to do with it about it, Grant?
Just them being friends. Just them being friends.
It's just Ross Kemp's like, I really need to get in the fact that I'm good with an iron, lads. I really need to get it in. You're not paying me for anything else.
I would say that's how he maintains his hair.
Oh, Grant, he just irons it. Continuing on. Phil writes. I'm just briefing on the episode. Phil writes suicide notes. He leaves them there, and then like Lexi comes in and tries to.
Well, we don't necessarily know if it is, but he's written notes. We assume it's 4 letters. We assume to 4 of his kids. I assume Ben, Louise, Albie, Raymond. And it's probably like a really sad letter being like, I'm sorry, I wasn't here, but I will look after you even then. So like, it's really tragic. And yeah, as Piggy says, Lexi spots him and he immediately like, what are you doing? Because it's that like snap back to reality, like, oh shit. Lexi is a child. She's already had so much death in her life and so much upheaval. She shouldn't have to deal with me as well.
Yeah, and then Lexi talks to Phil and it's like, I really want to do something because my mom's not here to do a big speech, but I really want to do a big speech. And Phil, like, holding his tears in, is like, fine, I'll do it. And he's about to cry. And that's the main theme of today's episode. He is really debating suicide. I can say that 7 minutes deep. He's really debating suicide. We also see that Bianca has the interaction with Grant.
I mean, also, hold on. It was after Grant's like, oh, Phil, you doing all right? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then the second Grant and Nigel leave, and oh shit, he's cocking the gun. He's prepared the gun.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and then Bianca confronts Grant and is like, I hate you, Grant. You're like Rach. And I'm like, has he changed Tiffany up in Lockman? I don't think so. So don't really compare the two. But I get where you're coming from. You slay queen. And then
Bianca was kidnapped for a good couple of months. She is allowed to have a really warped view of men. And just her life in general. She's allowed to have a really warped view of men. Not that Reese is anything like Grant, but Grant did play a big part in Tiffany's downfall. So, yeah. But it was a nice little like historical type scene where you call back to the 90s, where Tiffany and Grant always had that back and forth kind of very uncomfortable, manipulative, like emotionally abusive relationship, and just but just really cool when you get to have 2 like fairly prominent, fairly prestigious in the grand scheme of things characters like Bianca and Grant just going at each other's throats. Great.
Yeah, and continuing on, they meet again later on, and Grant's like, you're right, Bianca. Yeah, leave me alone, please.
I swear I'm nothing like Reese. I'm nothing like Reese. Don't know. He doesn't say it, but like, no idea who this bloke is. Don't know him. Nothing like him. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, he's just... Again, I can't see... Throughout these scenes, I don't see Ross Kemp as Grant. I just see Ross Kemp as Ross Kemp. Like, he's just Ross Kemp. He's not Grant. Like,
with his slightly shocked eyebrow.
Come on, do his shocked eyebrows.
Like I said, he just looks, and he's... Because his one eye's like really... I mean, hey, he's old. He's allowed to... time isn't kind to any of us. But his one eye is like very normal, and then his other eye, he just kind of has like a slightly surprised eyebrow that just naturally hangs higher. So each time he's just kind of sat there and he's just like, it's just like, what am I looking at? Hey, Grant, what do you feel like? Imagine if I went, "Hey, Piggy, guess what?" And then I just went, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? What am I supposed to look at here? What are you even? Yeah.
I just love how no one can, only you in the live chat can see, but I'm just doing the eyebrow that he does. Just so yeah, he just has shock life. Yeah, like I feel like like when actors switch on to like be the character they're playing. I just feel like somewhere in translation, Ross Kemp kind of lost the dial to switch to Grant.
Grant just goes,
"Hello,
hello, I'm Ross. I'm Grant. Bollocks."
Yeah, and we see Billy and Honey's wedding goes off without a hitch. Everything's
It's surprisingly peaceful. It's like the most struggle between the wedding is there's a bunch of the lads like stand up for Billy. It's like, oh, if anybody has any objections, and then like Alfie stands up, then like George stands up, and just a bunch like Howie, Martin, they all stand up. It's just like, yeah, and then Billy's just kind of like, what are you guys doing? And it's like, Billy, we love you. Then they get married, and it's lovely.
Yeah, Billy and obviously all the lads get married to each other. And then they throw the bouquet of flowers, and would you believe who catches it? Ruby, Alan, who's dying this week probably.
Ruby snatches it. You know those videos where like a kid's got some chips and a seagull like steals it. But you know that one clip where the kid just like grabs that seagull, takes that chip back, like, oh, you're not stealing that from me. That's Ruby getting this bouquet.
So
she's like, that's me. Sorry, I'm getting married next.
I just think about like the Brexit geezer who like a seagull tried to steal a chip from it, so he just turns around and just punches the seagull. It's the only clip I see of seagulls. It's that clip where he just texts the seagull, "I'm sorry." It's just so funny. He just twats him.
But keeping it going.
Yeah.
Will Ruby and Martin get married?
No.
Ruby's dying.
But yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, Ruby accepts it, and then Phil orders in a drink, and like everyone, Sharon's like, obviously I know Phil is depressed, and like Nigel knows that.
I think the other bit before this though, Lexi does a nice little speech, being like, she says all the stuff Lola would have said, but it's just like, hey, do you guys remember that time Billy ran with the Olympic torch? Yeah, well, he never shuts up about it, does he? Way, everybody's laughing because that's such a Billy thing. Of course, he wouldn't shut. That's his opening pickup line. Anytime he's like, oh, I'm sort of a big deal, me. Yeah, have you ever heard of the name Mitchell? No, not familiar with London. Well, you ever know the Olympics? Well, they personally selected me to carry the Olympic torch, so. Bloody carried that Olympic torch 3 miles.
Do you reckon in real life, is his name Perry? His name's Perry Beswick,
yes.
Isn't it? Do you reckon in real life he goes
Perry
up to...
Fenwick.
Do you reckon Perry Fenwick actually goes up to his wife or husband, I don't know his sexuality, goes up to them and it's like, here babe, here's the flowers. And do you remember that time, just like I'm holding these flowers, I gave you the Olympic torch? That was in the show. You're not Billy, that was in the show. It's just like, I carry these flowers. I ran with these flowers.
I did like how, because Billy has obviously just done EastEnders for the last 30 years, he did an interview where he's saying, yeah, this live episode's terrified, man. There's going to have to be a pint for me after I get back in the dressing room. It's like, Christ, Billy.
Relatable. Anyways, yeah, Phil orders in a pint. I love, again, like I was saying, Sharon is like, Nigel and Sharon know there's something wrong with Phil, and Grant's just like that oblivious brother. He's just like, oh, yeah. My favourite thing is right.
Because Phil grabs a pint for the first time since about, 2016, before his last, he's not drank in years. It's nearly 10 years of sobriety. And he just has a pint. And he drinks a little bit, he gets like a sip. And you can see he's crying. He doesn't want to do this. It's like he knows it's not something he wants to do. But even then, you know when they show Linda drinking a bottle of vodka, you kind of see that like rush of how they interpret it as like escapism, just right there. It's just like, oh yes. Phil doesn't even have that. He doesn't even like have any pleasure from it.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, like Sharon obviously just yells at Phil, and I'm like, he's depressed. Could you not yell at him, like? And Phil just walks off. Cindy Cindy has a showdown.
Well, Phil goes, look, I'm sorry, all right? I'm sorry for everything. Tears in his eyes. And once again, the alarm bells don't sound off for any of them.
No.
Like, Linda asks Sharon, like, oh, is Phil all right? And she's like, yeah, he's fine. It's like, Sharon, you know something's clearly wrong.
Yeah.
But obviously that's the frustration as a viewer, knowing how bad Phil struggled and seeing everybody else just casually look the other way.
And continuing on, Cindy has a go at everyone in the Queen Vic again. Can you believe it? My favourite thing is she's done with fucking around with the kids. She's done playing games with the kids, so she's picking her target, Ian motherfucking Beale, and she's like, yeah, when we had intercourse, you were too scared to look at me because you would see how bored I was, and I'm sat there going, whoa. Her son is sitting there at that table. Keith.
The grandkids are sitting there. Buddy Louie's just like, Mummy, what does that mean? He doesn't say that. It would be funny.
It would be funny. So yeah, Cindy then goes to Phil going, Ian is trying to kill me. Please give me the gun. And Phil's like, no, you're not getting the gun. Leave me alone. And then Phil goes back to the house to presumably
get the gun.
Yep, I'm just going to do that visual, and then we cut to Cindy. Who has the gun, and Resident Evil style walks into the house. I know
opens the door, holstering up, gun in hand, and honestly, whoever is done this is great because they do the cliffhanger, right? They do the cliffhanger. It goes, whoever has that pendant attacked me. And Cindy walks in with a gun, and someone's just like, wee! She's just flinging this pendant back and forth, wee! Just dangling it at her. And Cindy, like, starts, like, rushing them with a gun. That's setting up the cliffhanger to find out who attacked Cindy Beale.
Yeah.
And now is probably time to once again, as we will be finding out who attacked Cindy tomorrow. Final predictions. Who is it?
Well, firstly, if you don't mind, I just want to quickly read the chat here, and then I'll go through my fun predictions, just the lovely comments you had in the last time.
Go on.
So it says, I like how Walford on tap is WOT. Yeah, that's good. Pash confirmed. I'd assume that's our relationship status. I feel so sad for Phil when he goes to booze again. I was screaming, Phil, don't go to the booze again. It was so funny.
I was screaming. I was like, no, please.
It was so funny how Priya said, screw Cindy, I went for Ian's payment offer instead. I got a feeling it's Junior, and that's all the comments I can see. And that's that they're both from E. Graven and Ryan Smith. So yeah, continuing on, my final thoughts, it's going to be Peter who is the attacker, but I don't know if Cindy's going to shoot.
He's stolen my answer. He's stolen my answer. That's been my answer for months. It's been my answer for fucking months. And he just goes, yeah, I think it's going to be Peter me. As I've been doing all the lip service, I've been on all these podcasts fucking saying, yeah, I think it's Peter. He's too guilty. He's always there looking after Cindy. And Piggy's just like, yeah, I think that's right, that. Fucking stealing my answer. What the fuck? Taking the piss. Well, I can't go for Peter now because Piggy's fucking launched as well. I've built the whole rocket ship. Piggy's just like, fucking hell, I'm on this ship now. It's my ship. I built this ship. I was there building this bitch. So my real answer is Peter is the one who did it.
Yeah.
It's still a part of me would love the idea that I don't think it's Elaine, but if anybody's gonna sit there, just because Cindy's been going out of her fucking mind, and just in the Beale house, and the second just dangling the fucking pendant like she's a cat. She's gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna like try claw the fucking thing. Oh, I would love for it to be Elaine. I don't think it is. And my actual answer is Peter, because Piggy stole it, I'm gonna say it's Anna. Simply because both of whom fit the bill. They're not the biggest, most large suspect. They've kind of been very hidden, very secretive, but they've both been quite really, they've shown guilt. They've shown a lot of guilt over what happened to Cindy, and they've been trying to kind of paper over the cracks, whereas like Gina doesn't really give a fuck, honestly. Gina's like, yeah, threw the brick, and what? You were gonna leave, you bitch. Well, fair enough. George is he's too much of an idiot to conceal it. Junior is still in love with her. Ian, it's not his style. Kathy, I'd be fine with it being Kathy, but I don't think it will be after her involvement with the Six. So ultimately, my top two are Anna and Peter, but Peter being my final prediction.
And going back to
just the dangling it, trying to hypnotize Cindy. That gun's going to start doing a dance itself.
And going back to the comments, Ryan comments, Junior seems a bit too sus for my liking. And then Leanne goes, I think it is Peter, when Ian asked Louis, where is your dad? And then E. Graven chimes in saying, Kathy's one-liners though. There's all the
Kathy's
comments.
one-liners have been, obviously she's already an iconic character, but if this is the direction they go, this is the way you make Kathy Beale Lou Beale. This is the way you do it. You give her the one-liners, and she has been absolutely knocking all the one-liners out of the park. It's absurd. Any Cindy and Kathy scenes, there's at least one really funny one-liner in there from Kathy, and it's been tremendous.
And that has been the WOT episode on the 17th of the 2nd, 2025. Sorry, I had some vegan sausage rolls before this.
Just in general, though, in terms of the episode, it's the first episode of the anniversary week. How was it? Did it meet our expectations?
It did meet my expectations. I actually enjoyed it. I like how the river was red this time instead of
it was Ruby.
Blue. Yeah, Ruby. And I'm looking forward to see where it goes. I have faith in Chris Glenshaw. He's stepping down this week. Ben Whaley's taking over. I am scared.
Well, technically, I mean, there's still a bunch of stuff filmed. That is Chris Glenshaw's stuff, but yeah. No, it was a good episode. I did enjoy it. A part of me would have preferred if we had have just had this happen last week, but you have to have a reason for everything to escalate and to build up to this week. There's going to be a fire, probably 1 or 2 deaths, a birth, Phil potentially trying to end his life. Like, it's very packed. So when they initially said, oh, this is the week, you go, all right, bam, this is going to be guns blazing from start to finish. But, you need to provoke these new parts of you need to provoke this aspect of the events for them to build. So I can recognize that I had a bit more, like, I thought it was going to be guns blazing from the go, but as a build-up episode, pretty good, gets all the shit that we didn't care about out of the way. Like, the Phil stuff's fantastic. I'm glad that Billy and Honey got married with no real issue. Lexi's speech was nice, and Denise and Ravi had a little conversation, so yeah. Now it's guns blazing. If tomorrow's not absolute gangbusters, but then the script for tomorrow's episode is Cindy charging someone with a gun. So, it's going to escalate very quickly.
And just to end it off, obviously final comments here from the YouTube commenters. And then just to let you know very quickly, we are live Monday to Thursday at 7:30 till roughly about 8:30. On Thursday we will be doing our podcast live. We've already done podcast lives before on Twitch, but it'll be here on YouTube live, and then you can watch it Sunday. And the last few comments here, and if Ash wants to chime in with anything else, then just after this. I think the best TD master says, I think Elaine has the thing in her house and she's covering for Kojo who hit her. And
Interesting theory.
And then Leanne goes, thank you guys. E. Grave and then finally comments, what will Kathy think about the reveal is what I'm asking.
Yeah, Kathy will probably just thank. They'll buy the attacker a drink if they're not dead by gunshot, you know?
And then lastly, Thursday was about failed, so I understand.
That's in response to me saying I expected Monday to be a bit more bold, but ultimately it was about Phil. So yeah, it was still building to a boiling point. I do agree.
Yeah, and again, like I said, you can join us Monday to Thursday. We'll be on to cover all the episodes, and we'll see you then. See you in the next one. Bye bye.